Hello, I'm Mr. Frisco. Welcome to my Frisco Real Estate Podcast, your trusted source for quick, data-driven updates on the housing market, as well as the latest Frisco social and business news. Today on my podcast, we will be diving into the latest market stats, breaking down trends, and exploring what it all means for you. My guest today, Ronit Krancberg, professional space organizer, owner of Seize the Space. And we will talk about a true gem in the heart of Frisco, heritage table restaurants nestled in a beautiful restored historic home along Main Street.
Meet MisterFrisco, a realtor selling residential real estate in Frisco and far North Dallas. As a former professional athlete, track and field, and strength and conditioning coach, Mr. Frisco immigrated to the USA 20 years ago with $50 in his pocket, a suitcase, and zero English to pursue the American dream and build a successful real estate business. Hardworking, persistent, customer service, and detail-oriented, Mr. Frisco strives to secure a smooth closing on his client's biggest investment, their home. He puts his experience and knowledge to serve his clients the best way possible. Building his business by referral allows him to maintain relationships with his clients and serve them even after the transaction is closed. This is Frisco Realty News with Mr. Frisco.
So let's see what was going on Frisco housing market in December. Frisco's median existing home price for December was $664,995, a 7.6% drop year over year and down 5.67% from November. Buyers may see this as an opportunity, but let's keep perspective. It's still a competitive market. Inventory tells an interesting story. December had 566 homes for sale, a 74.7% increase year over year, but down 17.7% from November. So that decrease in December signals seasonality, most probably, but more homes overall means buyers have more options. Sales activity is heating up, though. December saw 192 homes sold, a 23.9% increase year over year, and up 15% from November. Homes are moving faster too, with a median 37 days on the market, up slightly year over year, but just 3 days longer than November. So pending sales, however, are slowing with 129 homes under contract, down 11% year over year and 21.3% from November. This could point to a more cautious buyer's pool, for example. So let's see. Lastly, the month's supply of inventory dropped to 2.9 months, firmly in sellers' market territory in December. So let's remind the balanced market needs 6 months of inventory. So sellers still have the upper hand in Frisco. So this is all about the Frisco housing market. Now it's time for my guest, Ronit Krancberg, owner of Seize the Space. Hey, Ronit, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Thank you for coming. How was the drive here?
Easy.
Easy? That's good.
Because it's not raining.
Because lately the traffic is horrible here in DFW.
Mm-hmm.
So, but okay. So glad to have you on my show. You are organizer, space organizer,
A professional organizer.
Professional space organizer. I just emphasize on space organizer because you may be an event organizer, so people don't know. Right? But tell the audience something about you. I know that you are coming from Canada, but your heritage is from Russia, I believe.
Poland.
Correct? Poland.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
My parents from Poland.
Great.
And then they moved after the war to Israel, where I was born. Mm-hmm. 4 years old, they moved to Montreal. I lived there for quite some time until in 82, I moved to LA. Lived in LA for 38 years. My whole works experiences was based on administrative assistant and inside sales coordinator for the longest time. During the downfall of the economy went down in 2008, 2009. I was still working in a nonprofit organization. They had to shut down the office in LA. So that's when I started looking for other jobs in administration, but a lot of people told me I have a knack for organizing. And I found out it's a very big industry these days. So I delved into it. I looked and researched. I called up a lot of other organizers, and I realized this is for me. I can go into people's homes, organize their clutter, if they're overwhelmed with a certain amount of messes in any aspect of their spaces. The company I have is called Seize the Space.
Seize the Space. Okay, administrative organizer. So anyway, you organized. All right, that's why probably you get to that field, organizer. I think a lot of people need help, but that they don't really realize that they need it. It looks very easy, I'm going to get boxes, I'm going to put everything together, and then you start looking for something and you can find it. I've been there. It's horrible.
Exactly.
It's horrible. Sometimes I spend hours to find it, especially when I move. But as a realtor, I always advise my clients to hire professional organizer. Either they put the home on the market or they buy a new home and they have to move in. Mm-hmm. And to declutter of a home when you sell it improves the marketability. But what would you advise people before they put on the market their home to get done first? Because I say, hey, just declutter it. And okay, I will, but I will put that in the storage and I will do that. All right. They even don't know what they're doing most of the time.
That's right.
So what would you tell them?
Okay. So they were going to look at it two ways. One, people who move out of rentals to move into a new home. You've got that aspect. You've got owner moving from a home owned to another home owned.
Yes.
And it all depends on the amount of years they've lived there. And it accumulates a lot of things in their homes, whether they're a small family, 2 people, or a big family. So with that being said, I usually go into their homes and assess everything that they have. And the first few things, if they want to start on their own, I say start looking at the surfaces, the countertops, and the floors. If you have clutter on the floors, start gathering and getting things tidy. So you can look at things that are not used anymore, broken, could be trashed. Maybe you don't like it anymore. You can set it aside for donation. And it's a matter of keeping the things that you want to take with you to the new place. And then I can come in and also set it up so that everything could be hidden if they don't have time to invest in staging. So I can help with that to make it calm. You need a calm place for people to look at the home and do a walkthrough.
Yeah, I actually experienced that, and it was horrible. When we moving from a townhome, a 1,900 square feet to 3,000 square feet home, all right? And the stuff we collected over 5 years, I didn't expect that this little home could collect that much stuff. And it was horrible. So it's a lot of work. However, when a person moves to a new home, buyers, they buy a new home, and they have what's the potential challenges you think they would face? What would you advise them? But they go there and they think everything is so easy to fit, and suddenly they have that trouble. They have a lot of stuff, or they have something. They're wondering always what to put aside or something.
Right. So the things that to look for when they're looking for a house, they're closet spaces. How big or how large? How many shelves there are, and if there isn't, then professional organizer can come and create more space based on the exact space that they have. And it can be done. It all depends on how much they bring from the old home into the new home. And you can always create calmness by bins in little baskets. You can mark them, label them. It's basically easy to do when it's all clean. But when you have clutter, you want to make it so that I'm going to put this particular items in one section so they're easily reached for, or other things that could be hidden under the bed. There's so many ways to keep things quiet and calm visually.
Okay. Closets. You mentioned closets. Okay. As a realtor, I will tell you, closets are a big issue for people. Sometimes they're too big, sometimes they're too small. Most of the times they're too small. Okay.
Right.
I'm not talking about men. For our closet is always big enough. Mm-hmm. The problem. I'm kidding. No, but it's a closet. And I think it's always challenge people to organize their closets. What would you, do you have any tips how to organize your closets? Because if it's not big enough, and sometimes, especially with the older, homes, they're not that big enough.
Right.
What would you advise people to do, and any tips for them to organize their closet?
Well, those felt hangers are thin, and that helps when they have the felt hangers as opposed to big bulky ones you find in the stores. The regular stores, they're hangers. That's another thing. You have shoe racks. You can do over-the-door shoe racks where it doesn't have to take up the space on the floors for something else. If you want to hide suitcases, you can, depending on how big and all that, you nest them in together and hide them on a top shelf or in a corner of a closet. It all depends on the visuals and Tetris style. You can do things that fall into line with each other, and yet you can grab it when you can without making a mess.
So on the end, by the way, that's going to be the last question. Any tips and tricks for people to organize their homes, not only the closet, to organize to make it more livable, more spacious?
Try not to bring in all the knickknacks and the bric-a-bracs. Keep the most important, let's say, figurines. People like to collect figurines. And if you don't have that room, put away or donate to somebody or give away to people, but keep the ones that are more precious to you. And then you make room for all those little things and picture frames. And it's just a matter of the way you display your wares is how you do it.
Ronit, that sounds so easy from your mouth. Okay. However, ask me how difficult it is to decide what is important for me.
Well, I do a consult.
So can you just come in at home and say, this is not important?
No. I sit down with you to make sure that you understand your thinking process, whether you want to get rid of or not. Maybe you want to give it to a family member, so it's not given away or thrown away. There's so many things to do with it to have it. Maybe if in the garage, you put it in a plastic bin and you can rotate them sometimes. It all depends on how much room you want to keep that many things. You've got to discipline yourself. People have to know how to discipline it. That's why we get hired. So we're a neutral party so that we can help them decide these things.
All right, that makes sense. So if somebody wants to reach out and ask for your service, how they can reach out to you?
Well, they can look me up and find my organizer website. I'm in there. I'm listed there. Mm-hmm. And if you want, I can ramble off my phone number. I don't know if
yes,
okay.
Just provide your phone number, website.
So the company is Seize the Space. I've been doing this for 11 years. Mm-hmm. I started from ground zero. I worked my way through it in Los Angeles, and I came here 4 years ago, and I love it here. So with that, 818-390-2235. That's the phone number, and you can look up Seize the Space or Google it.
All right. Email address or something?
Seize the space at outlook.com.
All right. Perfect. Well, everyone.
And the website, www.seizethespace.com.
Okay, perfect. Well, everyone, if you need help with organizing yourself, and I think we all need that, and you want to save time, Ronit is great in that, so just call her.
So I do have a little catch line I'd like to say to people.
Go ahead.
When your mess causes stress, call Ronit to get neat.
All right, perfect. Well, thank you very much for attending my podcast, and I'll see you around. You're a networker, I'm a networker too, so I'll see you around.
Dynamite. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Ronit. And now let's talk about a true gem in the heart of Frisco. Heritage Table. Nestled in a beautiful restored historic home along Main Street, this restaurant is a seamless blend of history, charm, and incredible flavors. If you're a fan of dining experiences that feel as warm and welcoming as a family meal, Heritage Table is your spot. Their farm-to-table philosophy ensures that every dish is crafted with fresh, local ingredients. Whether it's their signature heritage burger with caramelized onion and cheddar on their buttermilk fried chicken, every bite tells a story. For brunch lovers, well guys, the menu is a game changer. Imagine indulging in their brioche French toast or heritage hash on a cozy weekend morning. And let's not forget their cocktails menu, crafted with just as much care as their food. Try the Heritage Old Fashioned or their seasonal sangrias. It's the perfect complement to your meal. But what truly sets Heritage Table apart is its atmosphere. Housed in a building over a century old, dining here is like stepping back in time while enjoying modern culinary artistry. It's a place that perfectly reflects the Frisco community, rich in tradition, but always evolving. So whether you are planning a date night, family dinner, or brunch with friends, Heritage Table is more than just a meal. It's an experience. Thanks for tuning in today. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe to my podcast for more insights on Frisco's best spots, events, and the housing market. Until next time, keep exploring Frisco, and I will see you soon.